falling under a new order with the Russian-led Imperial League headed towards what looks like a major defeat and a major victory. Headed towards major problems as well. Nobody wants to lose land. But with a landing in Greenland having taken place, and Canadian-American truck waning also, I think this craziness that this team has lost. But since World War III, they let their technologies go down. They didn't really research much because I thought a resurgent Russia and the resurgent China was all but impossible. So their militaries have fallen behind with thousands of troops less, with hundreds of thousands, with millions less troops. And his technology fell behind. And well, they're now paying the price for this. With them being kicked out of Greenland, and a northern attack happens with Chinese forces and American forces teaming up to launch an attack on Alaska. And they manage to quickly take Anchorage. And a big chunk of Alaska has fallen over, with landings in the Canadian Arctic, with game over being known for sure, with many things going wrong now. With a movement in the Quebec and Labrador, and a movement into Alaska, and a movement in Northwest Territories. Eventually, this northern front connects itself, and it's arriving in the north to try to push an end to this Russian dominance, Russian desire to take over the world once and for all. But it seems like it's not going to happen. With the fall of Hawaii, which isn't even on this map. Now that's funny. And the siege of the Panama Canal by Chinese forces. They land here and they take over the Panama Canal and move into the Darien Gap. And how do they move into the Darien Gap? I don't know, because you can't move in it. And they move up, they take Panama City, although they already probably took it, right? With them finally getting put into a stalemate by Brazil's forces arriving. But China launched an invasion in southern and South America on two fronts, trying to encircle it. And also, you know who owns the Falkland Islands? I guess it was all along China. Them managing to seize up to here in Argentina, almost to the capital. A breakthrough happens once there's more supplies, and they manage to encircle and take the capital of Argentina and take the capital of Uruguay. And with this, they manage to push to here. And with their landings and pushes to here, they finally manage to capitulate the country, but their allies will manage to continue the country there. With more Russian troops arriving in the north, almost, let's say, 3-4 million, so they started another push. But they're barely getting into Canada. They manage to push up north, and they start to take parts of Mexico, but eventually America manages to stabilize it. Now, them taking over the Caribbean, and they make a landing in Ecuador, which is one of the weaker nations, and they manage to push right through. With Peru quickly being forced into surrender, and same came for Chile, and then came for Argentina, and then came for Uruguay, and Paraguay. With Brazil refusing to surrender, with some Russian troops arriving in the South America front, now a few million, along with a few million of China's forces. With them moving up to try and take the coastline. And well, they do this well, because the major cities fall, including Brasilia, the capital. Brazil happening, with Brazil surrendering to the Russian alliance. with America running out of morale. And they know that if they get to them, they're going to be partitioned. Lands taken, lands given away. But on top of that, they know their states will be torn apart into different countries. With the entrance into Texas. And while they should have invaded there, not the best spot to invade. With a landing in Newfoundland by the Russian-led alliance, landing across Canada starting to occur. As they're trying to seize the initiative in Canada by attacking the East Coast because they can. And they quickly seize northern Quebec. As they move down, they take Ottawa over. And they take a big chunk of the northern US over. With them also starting a western attack. And they also start a western attack on, well, this area, the west coast of Mexico, and the rest of the west coast of the US. Taking major cities throughout California, and then taking the full coast over. Canada, at this point, they have no coast left. And while a withdrawal is made from northern Canada into the southern areas. And they withdraw from Mexico. And they take back some key Canadian lands that they can. And key American lands. But you can see where this is going. Landing takes place on the East Coast. And they manage to take Washington and New York very fast. And well, a weakness opens up. With a landing in Florida occurring, and it connects up with the East Coast front, and an invasion of southern Texas and the south coast of America. With one coastline left, the choice becomes clear. They must withdraw from Canada. Why do they withdraw from Canada, you may say? Well, so they can secure their own territory and their national interests. But as you can tell, America's power status is now like number 50. Oh yeah. America has become weak. The managing the seas, and this is all that's left, and America finally surrenders. With one thing happening before the end of the video. Yep, there's some Russian annexation before this video is over. In the next episode, we'll see the peace treaty. But before then, this has been seized. So if you look, you can see what's been taken. With these lands being seized, let's see what the rest of the alliance does to the rest of the territories in the next video. Well, actually, one more thing before we go to the next video, because it's kind of obvious. A big chunk of China's re-annexed by China. I don't know how the peace treaty will go, but stay in tune for the next video. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Please like and subscribe. Bye, guys.